Hello everyone, once again for welcome to everyone to the first monthly pitch event of 2022. I hope you all have a good start of the year and everyone is healthy. So as everyone knows that for our old community member and for the new members, we are investor based out of Germany. We invest in early blockchain based startups and help them to grow. And our jury members, we have Susan from Coinex. She's the CEO of Coinex. Next jury, we have Sarah Finnegan from Antler. We have last but not least, Wolfgang Mennel from DFG Group. So now moving further, I would like to ask to start sharing his screen and you can go ahead.
Hi everyone, I'm Akash Mathew and I represent CIED. At CIED, we are about predicting how much you can trust your food. Now, let me give you a bit of background about myself and my team. So in 2013 is when we started getting into the agri-food sector. So if you really want to understand how a sustainable supply chain or fair supply chain works, on top, there are organizations that create standards. It could be a multinational NGO, certification bodies, or it could be a governmental organization. And in the middle, there are certification bodies who uses these standards to audit and certify every member in the supply chain, right from the farmers till the brand. So we started off with building tools for organizations that create standards. So these projects were basically funded by companies such as Unilever, IDH, and international NGOs such as Solidaridad. And in 2015, we started building tools for certification bodies, basically ERP systems. And in 2017 is when we decided, let us focus on international supply chains. Now, the reason why we decided was that, after all these experiences, what we understood was food safety issues are on the rise. When a food safety issue happens, it's not only that a brand recall can cost about $10 million, but irreversible brand reputational damage that comes on top is very bad. And because of the awareness level going up in the consumer market, around 3/4 of consumers say they are willing to pay more for a brand that offers total transparency. And now because of that, several brands want to get certified or they want to showcase their product as safe, sustainable. And now the consumers are asking the question, are these based on actual facts or are they using this as a tactic? Well, right now they solve it with the use of certification systems. Now, these certifications are really complicated and it involves organizing and structuring a lot of data. And the demand for certified products far outweighs the supply, resulting in an increased corruption in the system. Now, what we really need is a digital system that can help. A system that can help you organize the supply chain data from one point of the world to the other, so that you know what are the risks involved with different members in the supply chain, so that you can organize everything better, so that you can get your product certified better. And at the same time, this enables movement of goods much faster through the supply chain, so that at the end, the brand or a retailer, they can tie it up all together to create a cool farm to fork story by placing QR codes on the labels. Now, achieving this is actually a two-step process. The first step is basically data collection, and the second step is basically data analysis. So we completed the first step where we created a blockchain system that can track the flow of commodities from one point of the world to the other. Now we are getting into the second stage where we can deeply look into this data and create algorithms that can classify different data sets into different risk categories so that you reduce the issue of blockchain regarding garbage in and garbage out. Now, this is exactly what we do with brands. We help them digitize their supply chains by giving them a traceability system to track the flow of commodities. And at the same time, use risk assessment algorithms to predict the risks involved. And finally, give them dynamically generated QR codes that they can place on top of their product patches, which shows a clear farm to fork story. Now, if you want to look at the traction, well, we launched this product late in 2018. And since then, we've generated close to 450,000 euros in revenue. And every year, we've been basically doubling as in 100% year-on-year growth. And we are fully bootstrapped. And we do this because we sell the products via different channel partners. We have one partner called CIED Group. They are a group of certification bodies with tens of thousands of customers in food and beverage sector. And they use our software and services and they white label and sell it to their clients. And then we also work with Fair Food. It's an NGO based out of Amsterdam. And for them, their focus is human rights in agri-food supply chains. And their vision is as crazy as moving crypto through the supply chain so that the premiums directly reach the farmers. And yeah, it's going to happen. We also have some direct sales through clients such as Costa Cunin. They are one of the leading beeswax or natural wax producers in the world. Now, the blockchain in agriculture sector is about growing at 47% CAGR, and it's expected to hit 886 million by 2025. So this is roughly the market that we're looking into, but I see the figures are going to be way higher than this. Now, to get a better understanding of our team, well, we are a team of 46 members. There are a few people in the Netherlands, and most of our developers are based out of India. And we call ourselves local farm boys who loves coding, and that is what we feel makes us pretty unique. This is basically because technology is not, execution is what is far more important than technology itself. So for us, we are not a team that sits in one corner of the world building things for the other. We practically grew up among farms and farmers, so we know what is practical. You cannot go to a farmer and talk about blockchain, but you still need the technology to be implemented. And we've done that successfully, and we feel like we're good at that. And yeah, so that's basically about us. So if you're a brand that is listening, we would love to work with you guys on some pilot projects. And if you're an investor, we are already bootstrapped. So more than cash, what we are interested is in your network. And if you can help us grow even more aggressively than what we are doing right now. We work with some really cool partners. So right now we are accelerated by Wageningen University Start Life Accelerator Program. We are also funded by Rabobank, which is one of the largest agri-cooperative banks in the world. Thank you.
Thanks, Akash. I hand over to Jury. If you have some question, please go ahead.
Cool, yeah, I can start. So thanks very much for the presentation. And yeah, definitely a very important topic and a very important market to tackle. So, and there's, of course, a lot of startups that are trying to tackle this market. And I'm wondering, I mean, I see your traction and very congratulations on this achievement. But I was wondering, what do you think is your secret sauce? What is your unfair advantage in order to make it also in the future in this market?
Yeah, like I said, I see big tech companies getting into the market, but the thing is, agri sector is far more complicated to be a techie to implement things. You need to know the ground realities. You need to know even the single wording of SMSs that you send to farmers makes a difference on their involvement. So we feel like since we know both sides of the world, like I said, my father was an agriculture officer. My mother was a high school teacher who ended up working with a farmer cooperative. So they've been telling me about all these issues, and I've got like real world experience with supply chains and farmers. We even had some supply chain projects done, a couple of years ago. So for us, practical knowledge about what is important to implement is what I feel is differentiating factor.
Thank you.
Maybe Akash, yes, it's impressive seeing your revenue. I was always wondering about one thing. I mean, I come from the old school of marketing. I worked for an FMC company, Mars, and one of the key functionalities of a brand was always this trust. And I just wonder how many consumers would actually check the origins of the various steps to get to a final ingredient, a final product that you buy in a supermarket. Isn't the trust in a brand enough? Because the brand knows exactly if they screw up, they will have troubles like Nestle and others had.
Yeah, so here, the brand reputation is very important. You have to get it to a certain level. And now the issue with the supply chains is when something happens, it's very tricky to figure out where the problem originated. Because in conventional traceability systems, people can always go back and change the records. Well, in the blockchain network or systems like that we have built, of course, you can update the data, but there are, timestamps associated with updating data to a certain time. So if a supplier of a brand starts updating all the information right close to and exposing a scam or an issue, then the brand can actually pinpoint that this supplier is where the risk is. So for us, it's about maintaining and improving the trust these days because, like I said, consumers, they know that things can go wrong, but they want people to be more transparent and work together with them. So it's not like everybody is going to look at every farmer, but when something happens, this is what matters.
So it's as much about the company than about the consumers.
If at the end, it's about the consumers, but if I'm a consumer and if I know something, it's not like I'm going to do it every day, but yeah, but the brand has a need to maintain it every day so that they have a trust within their supply chain so that finally consumers can trust them. So.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Finally, one for me, Akash, thank you. A question on your go-to-market. So in particular, across quite a complex value chain, I'm imagining there are several different players across that kind of agri-food chain, involving a significant amount of coordination. What are some of the kind of the key considerations for your go-to-market?
So go-to-market as in, is it client acquisition or is it project implementation?
Both.
Okay, so in both these cases, what you have to understand is that there are maybe hundreds of thousands of agri supply chain members, but there are only a few hundred NGOs or organizations that are connected to all of them. Now, our strategy is to work with these people as partners, as you can see from our existing channel partners. So they not only give us exposure to their network, but at the same time, they also helps us in on-ground implementation and understanding the practicality. So that's the strategy.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot, Akash. You can stop.